So I'm so excited to be here with Talaya, and you can't really tell because she looks beautiful and amazing, but her leg is broken, so just thought you guys should know that. Usually people look a lot worse with a broken leg, but not this girl. So we are recovering from our Boston experience, and Talaya has explained how we met, and Scott brought us together through email. And when I received the first email from Talaya, I just thought, wow, this is a special person. And it just took one email to feel the joy for living and just the kindness and the love that she puts off. And but from the first email, I just really felt so touched, because up until this point, with a couple exceptions, I've been racing for me, and so it was really touching to think like somebody needs my help on the race course. And not only would I be helping Talaya, but I'd be helping Skylar, and I'd be helping other sick children who would hear about this and through the foundation. So I just felt like this was something I had to do, and I felt like God was telling me this is where you need to be. And so I wrote to the Boston race director, knowing that the race was only a week away. These are coveted entries. People give anything to be in Boston, And so I just wrote, and I didn't hear back. And then I thought, I'm just going to pray on this. And a couple days after I wrote that first email, I thought to myself, I shared the story with them. And I thought it was so strange that I didn't even get a negative response, or denial response, like, sorry, we'd love to, but we can't. And so I went and checked my junk mail, and in there was this email from one of the race directors saying, we have read your story and we're touched by it, so we're granting you an entry and we're placing you next to your friend. And I thought, oh my gosh, I knew we could tell Talaya.
I'm so excited. And you have to remember, we've never seen each other face to face.
No, we hadn't met yet. So I call, we discuss all the details, frantically trying to get the flights. And moral of the story, of that story, is we end up at the expo together, and she walks in, and I just felt so comfortable. I felt like I was looking into the eyes of this friend I'd had for a lifetime already, and we just hopped in a cab and went to get her leg fixed, and talking all the way, and it was a blast. So, and then I got to meet her husband, Kenny. He was wonderful, and it was just a really good day, pre-race day. So, the next morning, I was so looking forward to the race, and Talaya had given me a sparkly purple headband to wear, that she had one that was going to match, and these bands that say Pray for Skylar and the Cheyanna.org Foundation. And so we got to the race corral area by bus, and there were all these buses lined up, and we just went from bus to bus with our purple bracelets, giving them out to people and laughing. One guy even picked us both up and had his picture taken.
That's right, I forgot. Yeah. He was so excited.
He was so excited. And we met a guy who was wearing an American flag one-piece suit. It was arm to ankle. Yeah. I mean, he was decked out in this thing, So we just had a great time laughing.
That was so fun.
Getting ready for the race. And
eating our power bars.
Yep, we ate some power bars, got fueled up, and enjoyed. I mean, it was so joyful. A lot of times when I go into my races, there's these intense moments where everybody's serious, and and I always try and crack jokes at the beginning just to lighten the mood, but this one felt just so fun, and I was just looking forward to careening through the streets with Talaya and helping her, and doing whatever it took to get us there as fast as we could. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the race starts, and we're moving right along. We're actually passing quite a few people from the previous wave, and we're really passing people, and we're going at a good clip and just saying prayers and saying, at one point we were breathing on Skylar's name.
That's right.
And, and then it was a very, very hot day. but we just kept our mood light, and it was just so awesome for me to be able to go to each water stop and get water, and I was pouring it on Talaya's head. And and that was just, I felt like I was really taking care of her, which was so fun and nice and rewarding. And we were just talking about, I was trying to tell her stories about my racing. That might have been boring to death.
No, I loved it. I envisioned being as fast as her.
So we had some good talks, and then things did, her leg was really bothering her. And, that got progressively worse throughout the race. But I was so impressed with two things. One, I've never seen anybody in that much pain keep such a positive attitude. I mean, you were amazing. Anyone else would have complained, whined, whimpered. I mean, you just kept going, and I've never seen anything like that. I mean, she didn't quit. She kept going, and the whole time I kept saying, the last few miles especially, Talaya, maybe if we should slow down and just walk, and it's okay. And she's like, no, it hurts more if I walk, so let's just keep going. So I got on that train with her, and it was like, okay, one more mile, and we were saying these beautiful prayers, and we were praying, God, please take Talaya's pain away. God, please teach us to rein in the strength of Skylar and all the other children. We were just saying some really beautiful prayers. And then, we got closer to the finish, and I could just tell you were in excruciating pain. I mean, just every step. And all of these other people around us were imploding as well. I mean, they were having salt issues and dehydration issues, but so many people kept yelling, Skylar, Skylar, because your name was on your shirt, or Skylar's name. And, really, getting to that finish line was an incredible moment, because I could finally release and cry a little bit, because I'd been trying to stay so strong and positive, and it was really hard to see Talaya in so much pain. I mean, that was, I just wish I wanted to take it from you, so we got there, and they took her in a wheelchair, and we got separated for a while, and that was kind of rough, but we eventually reunited and had an ambulance ride to the hospital. And all along though we were kept a good attitude.
We did,
and that's what's so amazing about you. You never whine. Like, you're always just looking at the positive, which is awesome. And so I was just feeling really proud to be there with somebody with that kind of attitude. It's so rare. And so, we got to the x-ray room, and they took you off, and we were just praying that.
We were still getting our purple bands all along the way. Ambulance people, the doctors that were, like, looking at my leg in the big tent before they took me on meds. I was like, please, will you wear a band? Pray for Skylar. So we can't forget that. Even the x-ray people are like, oh, well, let me tell you about our foundations for sick children. Ficker Foundation and the Cheyanna Foundation.
Everyone knew why we were there.
Signed some autographs.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. And then another thing is, the minute you pull out the fact that she's on the cover of Runner's World this month, everyone starts to flip out. I mean, the resident doctor who's looking on Talaya, she's like, oh my gosh, she goes and she prints out a copy from the web, and as Talaya's waiting there for her x-ray results, and she's like, oh, do you think she would mind? I also have some bad news for her. Her leg is broken. Like,
but please sign it.
But do you think she would mind signing?
It at least lightened it when she told me that.
It did for sure. So we did a good job, keeping the spirits high.
We took a picture with our little rat's nests in the hospital bed.
We both had the dreadlocks.
By the way, you have to remember we are starving by this point. They have not fed us one thing. No. And we're in the emergency room forever, so.
Yeah, it was getting to be towards 5 o'clock. It was a 10:20 start. We finished around, 2:20 or 2:30. And then, this was 5, so we were still waiting for your results. and praying that there would be no fracture, it was just a muscle, which they originally thought. That they did a scan, ultrasound, and they thought, oh, this looks like a muscle tear. So we were all excited about that.
It felt like that. That's what I kept originally.
Yeah. So, but then this lovely Dr. Karen, right, was her name? She came in.
So sweet.
She was so sweet, and she said, I feel really bad saying this, but you have a fracture, and so then there was a moment of sadness, but we just prayed about it, and then you started talking about, this is really, I think this has happened because it's right in the same place as Skylar's leg was hurt.
That's right.
And so we just made it back to the hotel. And
the taxi ride home. Remember, he dropped us off on the side of the street.
Oh my goodness.
So then she truly is, I think she's like an angel. I'm telling you, she's my angel, and she's fighting for me. So we have to get in the taxi and I have a broken leg. And by the way, they told me it's fractured, but it really, once we got here, they realized it's a clear break.
Yeah.
But they just give us crutches, and the taxi driver, because it was, Boston, all the streets are closed, so he drove us, and they just said, you have to get out right here, like right on the side of the road. He said, I can't get you to your hotel because everything's closed. And she's like, but her leg, I'm like, but my leg's broken. He's like, I'm sorry, you have to get out, there's nowhere I can go. So we were like trying to get out as carefully as I could, remember?
Yes.
And she's like holding me, and
she was piggyback?
So sweet. Yes.
She wouldn't accept a piggyback, but
she tried, even in the race, I remember she said, I just wish I could carry you.
I wish you would.
When I think back of that, I always want to cry, because I remember she was looking in my eyes, and I knew she was such a genuine friend, and she, like when I looked in her eyes, I knew if she could carry me right then, she would. So, anyways, this whole time it's been like that. So, go ahead.
So then, we got back to the hotel I was on our crutches, and it took a while, and then we finally got some food, and got
the Power Bar, remember we met?
Yes, and then we met Frank from Power Bar, and he was just blown away by the story. I mean, and he tied it in to their company, and he was saying that the athletes that they represent, they all have a story about fighting and
powering through it.
Yeah, power through. And he's like, you are the story. You embody our entire mission statement.
And he said that he had come to the expo, and that he had read, there was a media release that they'd done before she and I ran, and I guess he had read about it. And he said he had been looking at the expo to try and find me and find us and talk about it, and had gone to the Runner's World booth everywhere trying to find us, and couldn't. He said, I walked in here because I'm getting ready to check out to go to this really big meeting. I think it's in Switzerland. And he said, Nestle. And he said, I was thinking how you're the one person I really needed to meet, and I didn't. And so anyways, I felt like God kind of did the timing in that perfect too, because it was something for both of us to fall back on, even though I had a broken leg, that there's still vision, not to lose a vision. And that's the one thing he said. He said, well, I don't know how much of an athlete I'll be able to be if my leg's broken. I don't know if you'd really want to sponsor me and help with the foundation, all this. Look at me. And he said, no, this is a story about powering through it, having vision. And anyways, we just had a very long conversation with him that was very encouraging, and I don't know, just basically that he was inspired, that the story he felt was inspiring, and that the story would be used more in the future because of what it entailed. To inspire other people, and to persevere. Yeah. I mean, that's what he was so impressed with, and that's what I was so impressed with, is Talaya's perseverance. And I think that's what is so amazing about running for something, another person or a cause that's greater than yourself. Because if you can take the focus off of yourself and put it into something greater and bigger, then it gives you that extra ability. It's like it gives you extra wings. It does. Whereas
I think the mistake sometimes people make, or maybe they just don't know yet, or they haven't felt called to have another reason, and I think that everybody can benefit from, picking something, anything, and racing for that,
right.
And it'll make you stronger.